You know, I was talking to somebody the other day who said, well, you know, it's just like it's no different to the school holidays. And I kind of went, yeah, but when was the last time you took a 6-week school holiday? I don't think I've taken a 6-week school holiday since I left school. And even if you are used to taking those kind of longer periods of time off work for holiday, this hasn't had that holiday vibe to it. There's been an awful lot more going on for people. I expect that, I don't know about you guys, but my experience of working with people through the last 6 or 8 weeks is sleep is a really big thing for people. Even, you know, people who usually sleep quite well, usually, you know, don't struggle too much, are finding that either sleep is harder to come by, or they're sleeping more or sleeping a lot less, or being disturbed by dreams. And a lot of that will be, even if they don't outwardly feel anxious during the day, will be anxieties that are building up that play through at night instead. So in some respects, and I'll go back to that analogy of somebody who's had stomach flu, and you wouldn't force feed them a 3-course meal as soon as they stop being sick. You provide them meals little and often. The vast majority of people are going to be all right about coming back to work on a reasonably normal basis in terms of hours. There are going to be some who are going to struggle a bit more with that, and I think in some respects it's about being watchful and watching those people as they come back to work and seeing how people are adapting. It might be that you decide that as an organisation you're not going to go hell for leather from day one, and you're going to do almost like a phased return to work for people across the board, recognising that when you've been at home for a couple of weeks, let alone 6 or 12 weeks, you're probably not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're probably not going to bed as early as you usually would. You're not rushing around. You're not operating at the usual speed. You're not thinking as quickly as you usually do, because you just don't need to. And it takes time for people to readjust. One of the analogies I sometimes use as well is people who've been, you know, like a deep sea diver. You know, if you've spent several hours on the bottom of the ocean on the floor, you wouldn't come back up to the surface straight away because it'll give you the bends. It's kind of true of coming back to work after a prolonged period of time. You want to do it by degree. So it might be that you say that, you know, the working day is only going to be 5 hours for the first week, so that we can allow people to start to adjust and acclimatise back into that different environment, which won't be as relaxed as being at home, and will have a greater expectation that people are going to sit and get on and think and do. And those who've been working from home will find that adjustment easier, because it will be more about having to get themselves out of the house in the morning and journeying to work. And just getting a second, who may be furloughed will find that a lot more challenging. And it might be that actually you look at, you know, either reducing hours to start with, or can those furloughed people start working from home? You know, if they weren't furloughed because they couldn't work at all, because I know a lot of companies have furloughed people who could work from home, just because nothing else is going on, so there's no point them working either. Is there an option to maybe look at those people who haven't been working from home, who could, to get them started doing hours from home and then bringing them back into the office as they adjust to and get used to a more normal working day again? Again, I think the vast majority of people are going to be okay, and will probably find it very tiring and a bit irritating to start with, but there will be the few who find this really challenging, and it's about being able to spot who those few are and then being adaptable and flexible and helping them get back into work without feeling like they're somehow doing something wrong, or they're not able to cope. It's just, we're all different and we all adjust to different situations in different ways. So I think being able to reinforce and reassure people that if you don't manage to get back to work straight off and feel great about it, that's okay, because there are lots and lots of people in the same situation who will be finding this really challenging and really difficult, and it's okay to take it a step at a time. We will get there. It might just take us a little bit longer than perhaps we'd like.
I think everything's taking.
Those managing, again, it's about having a plan. Yeah.
Everything's taking a little bit longer than we first, I think, anticipated.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. Jo's put a comment in the chat box just saying that she's an L&D consultant, consultant, and she's been running some workshops with clients who want to get their people used to the idea of coming back to work again.
Yeah.
Our workshops on things like emotional resilience, communication, and leadership, which sounds fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Then the feedback's been really positive. Colleagues have been meeting on Zoom and getting them back into that mindset slowly.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, is building up that work mindset, not just dropping people straight back into a work environment and assuming that they're going to float, because an awful lot of them will sink. So I really like what Jo's been doing, actually, in terms of getting people ready for the idea of going back to work, and giving them the opportunity to think about what it's going to be like, to explore some of the challenges that maybe they're going to have that they might not have had before. I think, looking at emotional resilience is a really good idea, encouraging people to take responsibility for their own emotional well-being. And again, coming back to those emotional needs, how are you going to make sure that you feel secure, you feel in control, that you're getting enough attention, you're giving enough attention, that you feel part of a community, that you feel competent. I imagine that there will be people who struggle with competence to start with, coming back into the workplace, because if they've not been working for a little while, everything's going to feel really rusty. And so
weeks, don't we, after you've had
exactly.
You can't remember what any of your computer passwords are or how to use email.
Exactly. And so just being cognizant of that as well, that people are going to come in and go, oh, I can't remember what my email, I haven't logged into my email for a month, I can't remember what the password is. And having all of that support in place is going to be really important to people's emotional well-being. So knowing that there's somebody from IT on hand to reset passwords if they need to.
But I guess as well, it's then about, again, in bigger organisations, educating and supporting the team leaders.
Absolutely.
The managers and all the people that are in between you as HR professionals or business owners and everybody else. So it's making sure that I guess it's, be kind, isn't it? That's a slogan that's going around. Making sure that we are aware that, and that the managers and the line managers are aware that people are going to struggle to come back in, and maybe they might struggle themselves, and just to be conscious of that, and potentially then some coaching for the line managers and managers who are going to be at the cold face dealing with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really important that those who are in contact with with the team, so the line managers and the supervisors and team leaders, are able to approach this in a really non-judgmental way. And we do have to be, you're right, kind, very accepting that everybody's on a different journey at the moment. Some of us might be broadly on the same journey with slight deviations, but all broadly heading in the right direction. But there are going to be some people in the team who are on a completely different path back. And we just need to be aware of that, and not measure people against other parts of the population. Everybody will get there in their own time. Some people it's going to take a bit longer. Some are going to find it a bit more challenging. And it's being able to spot those people and be flexible, be adaptable, put the right plans in place to support them so that they feel supported, not punished for the fact that they're not able to just walk straight back into work after 12 weeks out.